But that's only part of it, because what we wanted when we first joined the business was to have money. We were in a position when we joined the business where we had traditional businesses rolling. And Leo was always very successful. He had money, which meant I had money because I was part of his business team and part of his life. But we had no time. There wasn't time to build relationships. There wasn't much time to have a social life. There wasn't time to have much fun. Truly, what we did was home and work and home and work. It's the traditional story that you hear about people who were business owners who are excited about this opportunity because they're looking to improve their situation. They're usually time starved. So that was us. And certainly we learned and we grew in that respect as well. We learned how to get out of debt 100%, including mortgage and car payments, nothing. And we learned how to make passive income, which has been just a wonderful thing. Who knew? I mean, this business was a surprise. When we joined, we hoped that it would work. And now, many years later, a couple of decades later, everything that they said from the stage, we've learned was true. And all of the teachings which we submitted ourselves to, we had to submit, we had to trust, we had to say, okay, what they're saying is that if I do this, I'll get these results. And we had to submit ourselves because we weren't at that time fully understanding why they were suggesting to do what they were telling us to do. We just followed. We had to trust. But now we don't have to have that element of faith anymore because we've seen the results personally. And we now can fully say, looking back on decades, that this has been a very significant part of our life, and it's a very worthy venture, worthy of our time, worthy of our hearts. We've developed great relationships out of it, and the money has certainly put us in a position where financially it's such a relief to have a passive form of income coming in. And once you get rid of all debt and truly experience financial freedom, it is such a relief. So we're kind of calm. Physically, we've learned how to keep well. Spiritually, we've learned how to devote time to God and mind space to God. And all of this, the financial aspects, the physical aspects, the financial aspects, the emotional aspects, everything has made us feel like this is for sure. This is an opportunity for everybody. All you have to do is submit and make sure that you have some great guidance, which you do on this team, and you can create what you want out of life. Different people have different desires. So what I'm talking about was a benefit to us. You may be looking for different benefits, but if time and money has any part to play in what you desire, then for sure this business is for you. It's a tremendous, tremendous opportunity. So a little bit about the women's participation in the business. I'm not sure who here is married and who here is single. I'm sure we've got a mixture of both. You've got some people who are a single man, unmarried, and they're building their business. We probably have some people on the webinar where it's a single woman and you are building your business, all is fine. Sometimes I think that may be a good position to be in because one person gets to make all of the decisions. When you're married, sometimes there can be a little bit of a rub because both people want to be the boss. So definitely Leo and I, we have different personalities. I don't know if you've noticed yet, but Leo is the personality who's high energy, and he's aggressive, and he's very social. He's very, very outgoing and people oriented, and he's very gregarious. He makes friends so easily. He's got the gift of gab, meaning that he can speak to anybody and elicit a response. He's a wonderful people person. He's extremely smart. I mean, you can't get anything past him. I've been with Leo for 35 years and I can't get away with anything. He's extremely smart. And he married his opposite. So I wonder who in this crowd has married their opposite personality. Can you raise your hand? Yeah, so when that happens, we may know how to do life together, but when we come in the business, we may not know how to work together. And this is full of intricacies because we have to have a great marriage and we have to have a great business and we have to fulfill different roles. So your family dynamic is different from my family dynamic. You may have children, you may have young children. It's best to get everybody involved and everybody aligned where you set the vision, you set the goal that you're wanting to get out of our business, out of our company. These are the results we'd like to have. And the whole family understands that goal. And the whole family understands that when we reach that goal, this will be the reward. So now, husband and wife aligned in vision, children aligned with the vision. So Leo and I had to learn how to work together. And given that we're different personalities, and given that we learn, we absorb information in different ways, sometimes there was a struggle. There still is, because I'm getting older, and as I get older, I'm more stubborn. I know what I know, and that is 100% true and right. And it's hard to change when you get a little bit older, but we learned that everybody's got a role. And in the business, what I thought was in the beginning that since Leo is so people oriented and since it's so easy for him to meet people, and since he's so friendly and so outgoing, that his job would be to talk to strangers. And nowadays we use the term put them through the QP, the qualifying process.
We call it just the process.
The process. Okay. So I thought that that would be a great position for Leo, and I could kind of just stand behind, and I would, once people got involved in the process and once they committed, then I would help. But what I found is we have to be good at all things. So in working with Leo, when we work best together, we use our strengths. He does very well the things that he's very good at. I do very well the things I'm good at. I'm a little bit better as a scheduler, organizer, more of an administrator. So like keeping an eye on goals, and there's the long view, and here's the steps that have to be put into place, and we must be sure to follow the steps. I'm more like that. So when we work together and we're working with people in the organization on the team knows, well, if I have this, I know Leo's a good one to go for that situation. And Tiffany's a good one to go to for this situation. So that's a good way that we have found to work together well. If you married your opposite, I think they are supposed to have that situation because you can be so much more. You've got so many situations covered. It's really a blessing, although sometimes it feels like, oh, we just can't agree on anything. But I'd say we work together in that aspect, but also growing individually. So if you read the personality books, we have learned that, yes, we identify our personality, we identify the personalities of the people around us, and it makes us understand ourselves and understand the people around us more. But what the real thing that those personality books are telling us, the bottom line is that you have to grow to try to get a little bit of each of the profiles, the personality profiles in you. So for an example, I'm like on the side where I'm not so outgoing. I'm more introverted. I don't have the gift of gab. I don't talk well. I'm more of a listener than I am a speaker. And I don't like do well with impromptu stuff. I'm better if I can make slow decisions and if I can think about things for a few days and then come up with a decision or a game plan. I'm better in that situation. But what I've had to do personally is try to get a little bit more aggression, because a person like me without Leo would be one of those people who thinks about things too much and you get stuck and you don't go anywhere. So these parts of the profiles in the personality books, and if you haven't read them, these are very much worth reading, very much so. But with the profiles, I had to learn how to get a little more aggression. I had to be more outgoing. I had to be less task oriented and be more relationship oriented. And we grow into these things. And it doesn't come easy. Truly, it's work. And you have to think a lot to remember to do the things that you need to do to stretch and to grow. Yeah, Leo's saying it's uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable, but to reach a new dimension. So if you want to be who you need to be a good leader and to have a great team, to have the respect of your team, to have the authority so that you're like making the good decisions that help the team. If you want to be that person and you're not that yet, then obviously you have to make some changes. And change is uncomfortable. Growth can be uncomfortable. But once the change and the growth is accomplished, my goodness, it's wonderful. I mean, you're a better person. You're better for it. And you can reach more people and you can help more people. And it's living through life in a better situation. Once you evolve, it's less about you and it's more about other people. And this is a more satisfactory way to live. It fits in beautifully with the principles of our business. Dexter has always said and always taught that what you do is you set your goals and then keep that as a long-term goal, but then you immerse yourself in the people that you're with. You help somebody else be more successful than you, and the result will be that you will be successful. So when you reach that position and your ego has diminished and your love and capacity to love other people has grown, it's a very satisfactory way to live. It's a life enhancer. So this is more about money. It's about growth and you being all that you can be. Every relationship that you have will be better. Relationships with your family, relationships with acquaintances, relationships with coworkers. You'll have respect, more respect for yourself, more respect for other people. It's a wonderful process. But back to women and our importance in the business. My feeling is that if you are married and one person, in that case it was me, is trying to say, well, in every situation, you're better at it, Leo, than I am. Therefore, I'm just gonna like not be or do all that I can do. That would be not your best approach to the business. I say everybody does all that they can do because to, we want you to not take years and years to be all that you want, have all that you want, be at the level you want to be in the business. It's more painful to grow the business that way. But if you are working it so that both people are doing all they can in the business, then it grows faster. You have to figure out your pace, what you can handle. You have to figure out your rhythm, and you have to figure out your responsibilities. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do well for the team, and this is what you're going to do well for the team, and this is what we're both going to do well for the team. This is what I have to do to get there. This is what you have to do to get there. And together you can do and be so much more than just one person. There's combined efforts. So instead of the efforts of just one person, now you've got the efforts of two people, which will help. And you've got the combined personalities. One person can't be everything to everybody. There's some people on our team who relate to my personality better than Leo's personality. And there's some people on the team who relate to Leo's personality better than my personality. So if both of us are there, we've probably got more of an ability to have influence and really support and help the people on our team. For sure, I have grown, which has been great. I never, there was one function that I missed, actually two. And I'm talking about missing that in decades. And one of those functions was when my father was dying. So he was very close to death. We were at the very end of his life. And, you know, the functions are extremely important. But your father, oh, I'm getting all choked up just thinking about it. You don't want to have any regrets. So that was something where I missed the function. And I think that was a great reason because at the end of his life, we had some very good closure. Words were said, we had great closure those past few days. So that was important. And I think that was understandable. And the second function that we missed was last year. We were supposed to go down, it was about a 1-hour flight only. And we were going to a winter conference. And Leo and I both had the stomach flu. I mean, we couldn't leave. We could not go anywhere. We both had high fevers, and we both just needed to be uh, close to home, if you know what I mean. We couldn't step far away from the bathroom. So we missed that function. And that was pretty sad because we were supposed to participate and host some people and speak on stage. And we had to call and say, goodness, we can't. Both of us at the same time, so ill. So we just couldn't do it. And I think maybe that helped the team as well, because who wants to spread that to other people? So we missed that function. But in all of these years, those are the only two that we've ever missed. So there was never a time where I said, well, this business is Leo's business, or Leo said, this business is my business. And so they can take care of it. Nope, we both understood this is part of what we have to do to be successful, and we've never missed, which has been great because obviously we've really gotten a lot out of those functions. And wholeheartedly, we both have the desire to support the team. We both have the desire to be available. We both have the desire to help people. What a blessing it is to help people be more successful than you. What a blessing it is to help somebody who's not confident, who doesn't feel as though they've ever been encouraged in their life. Maybe their family never encouraged them. Maybe they never got encouragement where they work. And what a blessing it is to be able to encourage people so that somebody has this area in their lives where they feel free to express themselves and they feel free to grow. They feel free to make mistakes. We all make mistakes, especially when we're trying to grow. They feel free to make mistakes. They accept the little correction. So, well, here was what you could have said or done better. They accept the correction and then they succeed. So, what a blessing it is to help somebody like that. It truly is the kind of team that we want to have, the kind of team we do have. And I want to give you one, I just thought of something. One area in which I had to grow was being a little bit more aggressive. So I remember our diamond, Joan Mazio, I was telling her, like, gee, people take advantage of me all the time. I mean, that's what happens when you're really nice and you don't have this thing where you dare to say, well, I disagree with that. So I was telling Joan Mazio about my struggles. People take advantage of me all the time. I mean, what do they think? That I'm the complaints department? People come, they complain. I absorb the complaints. I think about it. What can I do to help them be better? What can I do to solve the problem? I think about it. I think about it at night. It keeps me awake at night. I think about it maybe 3, 4, 5, maybe a week, maybe a month. And then I come back and I say, I've got something I think can help you. And they can't even remember the complaint or the problem that they have. So obviously they were having a bad day and they dumped it all on a listening person, someone who listens well. And then, like, here I am trying to get the solution, spending my time, my effort, my mind space, and it wasn't even a big deal in the beginning. So I was sharing some of these things with Joan, feeling walked all over. And she said something which I took to heart. She said, hey, if you act like a rug, people will walk all over you. So really good words, but I said, all right, I've got to stop acting like a rug. So now another situation comes along and I say, well, okay, now I've got to do better. So I've got to get a little more aggressive in some situations. And my aggression went overboard in a few situations.
Too far.
It went too far. I was too aggressive. I was not concerned the way I should have been. I was not a good listener. I was commanding, like I was like some dictator. And like, well, you're stupid to feel that way, and just turn it around, do what you have to do and feel this way. That doesn't work very well. So that didn't go over well, meaning that the person
We
that
blew out a leg.
no, we didn't blow a leg.
I'm joking.
We just had more problems created than resolution, meaning that, well, now this person has resentment towards me. And now I have to apologize. I have to get over the resentment. We have to like take a bunch of time and fix that relationship. And now we have to. So when you're correcting yourself in these situations, sometimes you go overboard too far in the opposite direction. But it's all good. It was all part of growth. I think maybe I couldn't have grown without that. This is how we learn and grow. So we want to provide an environment where people feel comfortable in their growth. And they know that if they make a mistake, it's okay. Just going to accept the correction. And it's a gentle correction. Nobody in this business is ever going to tell you, if you don't do this, you're out. You're out of our lives. You're out of the business. No, this is the growth society here. We all realize we're all human. We all realize that we make mistakes. We all realize that, we're all trying to be better. And if there is a little conflict, then we resolve the conflict and we just do better the next time. So I feel that the role of the woman years ago, like if you listen to some of the old CDs, it was so traditional. And I don't know if you can relate to me. I realize that the culture in India is very different from the US, but I think that we have one mindset here. So I hope you can relate to me. Years ago in the business, I'm talking back in the 1970s, when Dexter and Bertie had so much teaching. They had 7 kids. And the teaching that was coming down was that Dexter was on the road, but Bertie couldn't be with him because 7 kids. So she kind of handled the home front. And Dexter was out there building the business. But Bertie was doing a lot of work supporting the ABOs, the people who were coming in the business, the people who were on their team. And that was the traditional business model that was being taught even when we got in the business in the 1990s. For me, I was kind of different because I don't have children and a very career-oriented person. I think I'm different. I'm just different. Most people have children. But for me, I was just on a career path. And by the time I decided, gee, it would be nice to have kids, I was in my late 30s and that was too late. So, for us, there was never this situation where, well, Tiffany will be home controlling the home fires and Leo will go out and build the business. No, if he could show the plan, if he could qualify people, if he could put them through the process, well, so could I. If Leo could meet people, meet strangers, even though it's a stretch for me, well, so could I. And I remember one thing Leo said to me. I forget if we were just before platinum or if we were at, but Leo said to me, because my attitude wasn't quite there and my growth in the business wasn't to the level that Leo had been, because I wasn't as immersed in the business as Leo. I restricted myself. I won't do all the roles because Leo is better at that. So I restricted myself. And as a result, I wasn't as competent as Leo. My attitude wasn't as good as Leo's. I wasn't as good speaking with the team, helping the team, endorsing the team. I just wasn't as good as Leo. And Leo said to me, it's very noticeable when you hear a couple on stage, you can decipher like who is the builder and who is not. And you can also decipher if both people are builders. And you can also decipher like how like rocking they are, how on fire they are. And Leo said to me, look, I don't want me to be diamond, but you standing up here mentally with me less than platinum. And I really got my feelings hurt by that one. And I was quite angry with Leo. And when I get angry, it's a silent departure. It's just like, you stay there, I'm over here, don't talk to me. So there's not a lot of shouting, there's not a lot of screaming. It's cold though, it's very cold. So we were in one of those cold things, but I think if you're a good, responsible person, when there is conflict, you think about it. And you have to be very honest with yourself, particularly if you are married, and think honestly, without ego. Think, what's the truth in this situation? What is right in this situation? Was he right? Was I right? What's the truth? And if you're a big person, if you're the one at fault, this is in any relationship, not just marriage, but when you're a big person and you're the one at fault, you resolve that and you go and you say, you were right and I was wrong. And that can be really difficult, can't it? That can be so difficult. You were right and I was wrong. So when I thought about this, I said, oh my goodness, Leo is right and I'm wrong. And then it was a matter of just putting in the work to grow and to catch up with Leo mentally in the business and to immerse myself more, just immerse myself more, immerse myself in the system, immerse myself in the books, double up on the audios, triple up on the audios, talk to people in your support team, be open, be honest. You will get some great feedback on the people in your support team. They will give you some excellent, wonderful advice. But if what you're telling them is not true and it's not honest, then the advice that they give you will not help you. It will not pertain. It won't be good advice because they're telling you the advice based on false information. So they use a term here. Don't know if it's used in India, but oh, Leo says don't use it. Okay. So you have to just get real. You have to be transparent. Yeah, Leo's helping me. And you have to just, even if it makes you not look so great because you're explaining your faults, if you want to grow, then you have to just be truthful and be honest. And you'll get great advice, which can help you grow. So I took some great advice and I really focused on putting good info in my head, very individual game. Like Leo is everything to me, but he can't always be my teacher because we're just so close. That relationship is so close. And sometimes I just need input from outside. So certainly you have a lot of support and you have an arena where you can grow. And what we truly hope for everybody is that you're happy. We want to understand your dreams. We want to understand your goals. And we want to do anything that we can to see that you get them. We won't be a rug and be walked all over, but for somebody who is willing to grow and work together, it's such a symbiotic, wonderful relationship where you take feedback, you internalize it, you try it out, and you put it into some aspects of what you're doing, your performance in the business, and you grow. And then you get some more feedback and you grow some more. And before you know it, you're getting close to where you want to be. And there comes a time where your energy level, your confidence level, as your confidence grows in the business, your passion in the business grows. Your belief in yourself, your belief in the business grows. And when your belief grows and your passion grows, when you talk to other people, you're charismatic. They understand through your body language, through your words, through your activity, that there is something great here. There is something worth getting involved with here. So when that belief in you and the passion in you and your confidence, you're so much more effective in the business. And there comes a time where you just love building the business and you just can't wait to find treasure out there. There's people lying awake at night who are saying, there must be an answer to my problem. I need more money. There must be a solution. I need better people in my life. There must be a solution. I feel restricted in some way. There must be a solution. And guess what? You are the answer. These are treasures. They're people who are willing to submit themselves and willing to grow. You've got the environment for them to do that, and you've got the system, and you've got the opportunity. Without you, they may never have the opportunity. So you love building the business. And when people who are with you start doing well, it's such a high. You'll enjoy the business more and more. So it's wonderful. My answer to the woman's role in the business is do it all. I think everybody has to do it all. I don't think there's a man's role and there's a woman's role. I do believe that if you want to have a good business, both of you have to be involved and do everything that you can do. That's my solution to the woman's role. Okay, so I think you're great. Love you all, and I'll turn it over to Leo.
So, okay, goodbye. You thought you had two speakers, you only had one speaker. So she said it all. She said it all. She also was very honest. She told you the truth. We went through some stuff. We're still going through some stuff on a higher level, on a better level. We work much better together. We started our life together where she worked for me. I was the boss. She was my employee. I told her what to do and she did it. And for years, she never challenged me, ever. And now we get married and slowly the challenging starts. Like, I don't think so. I don't think this is good. And I'm like, hey, for so many years, I told you to do something and you did it. Now you're challenging me. So that was an adjustment, because that is an adjustment. We are all creatures of habit. So if we're used to doing something one way and it works, why change? Why change it? But I had to change because I had to accommodate Tiffany as my wife, no longer an employee. Then we got into this business and now I had to change even more. Now we're like both starting from zero in a new business. So I can't say I know more than you do. And she can't say, she knows more than I do. In fact, it's amazing. Quiet people don't talk to strangers, but they tell you what to do if they are married to you. So my wife would tell me, that conversation you had, you should have said this. And I'm like, who are you to tell me? You're not doing anything. So we would have an issue. And then I heard from stage, don't listen to anybody who has your PV or less in your line of sponsorship. So I told Tiff, I said, I'm not listening to you. She said, what do you mean? I said, you have the same PV I do. I'm going to listen to somebody in my line of sponsorship that has more PV than me. So we used to have these arguments. You think only you have arguments? No, everybody has arguments, or we're not human beings. Okay? But the good thing about Tiffany and me, and the good thing about you and your spouse, is that we want to be together. So we resolve arguments, we resolve issues, challenges. And so we've resolved it for 35 years. And now it's like, it's much better. Do we not have disagreements? Of course we do. Okay? But it's very simple. We resolve better because we've been resolving for 35 years. If you do something for 35 years, you better be good at it. We're good at conflict resolution. Now, sometimes we're also so close that we can get a little extra aggressive with each other. So sometimes somebody, if they had a camera in our house, they'd say, oh my God, they're very aggressive. No, we've been together for 35 years. We know each other. We can be a little aggressive now and then, but we love each other. We have tremendous respect for each other. I respect Tiffany. Now, she might, when she's upset, say, you know, he doesn't respect me. That's not true. And I might say, you know what, you don't respect me because you're always challenging what I'm saying. That's not true either. We both respect each other. We love each other, but there is a difference of opinion. And so, again, coming back to the man-woman thing, I'm actually done. I'm just trying to wrap it up. Is that there's no, just like Tiff said, there's no specific spot for a man or a woman. We do whatever we do well, and the other party does whatever they do well. And then sometimes I do what they do, and they do what I do, so that you blend. So there's no role. Do everything, do it all, like Tiff said. But then when you're working together and you're in the same room, then you take care of what you're good at, and he takes care or she takes care of what she's good at. And then when you're separate alone, then you do everything and she does everything, or you do everything and he does everything. So if everybody works as a team, which means husband and wife, and if you're single, you have an advantage. You have two advantages if you're single. One is you don't have to listen to anybody. You can just do. You just follow an upline. I can follow upline, and my wife might say that I don't like that, and she doesn't know I've talked to upline, and I'm too like cool to tell her I've already checked upline. So I say no, I'm going to do it this way. So these are the things that men and women and husbands and wives and friends, they play games. We play games. All of us play. Sometimes we don't let the real truth out if it doesn't hurt, but we want to act superior, okay, fine. But finally, if you're single, you don't have that game. You cannot say, well, my wife told me to do it this way. What wife? You're single. Now, that's one advantage. The second advantage is when you make money. It's all your money. You don't have to share it with your husband or wife. It's all yours. If you're a single diamond, woo! That's like being a double diamond being married. You have to be a double diamond when you're married to have the money you have if you're single and a diamond. So there are advantages. Now, the best advantage is to have somebody to share it with. That's the best advantage. Okay? And if you can share something with somebody, it's lovely. So, but you say, but my husband, my wife, they don't understand this business. Every time they say bad things about it. Well, sorry. If you're married to somebody who doesn't like the Amway business and you like the Amway business, you have to stand strong. Show your husband or show your wife, which we call spouse. Spouse is neutral. Show your spouse what this business can do. You go, how do I do that? Show them, do it. Well, they always say, do it anyway. I did stuff that my father told me not to do, that my mother didn't want me to do. I did it. Why? Because I wanted to do it. And I believed in it. And when I did it, In the beginning, I got some, and then finally, you know what? My father and my mother and my uncles and my aunts and my nieces and my nephews and my brother and my sisters all appreciated it, respected it. So do that with your spouse. Sometimes you have to do it with the spouse. Okay. You know what makes me the angriest, and you know what makes Tiffany the angriest? When I have to prove myself to Tiffany. I am so angry because 35 years I've been with you. Why I should prove myself to you? And if she has to prove herself to me, she's angry. She's like, I've been with this guy for 35 years. Why should I prove to him who I am, what I can do? He should know that by now. You never stop proving. That's one thing you and I have to understand. You can be married to somebody, you can be somebody's child, somebody's father, somebody's mother, somebody's brother, somebody's sister, somebody's friend. You're constantly having to prove what you are capable of. Never stops. So get used to it.